say something that may completely change how you understand your relationship. Your partner does not need to be diagnosed as a narcissist for their behavior to be abusive. You have become so focused on asking, is this person a narcissist, that we sometimes overlook the more urgent and clinically relevant question. Is there a sustained pattern of power, control, intimidation, or psychological manipulation in this relationship? Because the label is not what determines whether you are being harmed. The pattern does, okay? From a psychological perspective, what we are really talking about here is relational trauma, a repeated experience of fear, confusion, emotional invalidation within a close attachment bond. When this happens over time, it can reshape your nervous system, your self-perception, and even your ability to trust your own perception of reality. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental diagnosis. It can only be properly diagnosed by a qualified clinician after a comprehensive assessment. But coercive control and emotional abuse are behavior patterns, not diagnoses. Domestic violence is a repeated system of behavior used to establish dominance, erode another person's autonomy. That system may include monitoring your phone, controlling finances, isolating you from your support system, threatening consequences, humiliating you privately or publicly, restricting your movement, or punishing you for expressing needs or boundaries. Clinically, this is often described as intermittent reinforcement, a cycle where affection, approval, or calm is unpredictable, mixed with criticism, withdrawal, and aggression. This unpredictability is essentially destabilizing your nervous system because it keeps your brain in constant state of prediction, threat scanning, okay? It may also look like gaslighting, where you are questioning or refrain because you doubt your memory, you doubt your own memory, even your own sanity, or cognitive dissonance, where you hold two conflicting realities at the same time. This person says they love me and I feel afraid, small, or confused around them. Over time, your nervous system adapts. This is where polyvagal theory can help us understand what is happening internally. You are in a safe, connected relationship. Your nervous system operates in a regulated state we call vagal safety. You feel grounded, socially clear, and everything. But in cohesive or emotionally unsafe dynamics, your system may shift into sympathetic activation, fight, flight, dorsal, and freeze mode. You might notice anxiety, hypervigilance, emotional numbing, disassociation, and exhaustion. This is not weakness. This is biology responding to perceived threat. And when this state becomes chronic, sometimes very important things happen psychologically. You begin to adapt to the relationship instead of relationship adapting to you. You may start monitoring your tone, your facial expressions, your timing, even your breath, because your nervous system has learned that small differences in behavior can determine whether you are met with safety or conflict. This is not peace. This is survival adaptation. Eventually, many people internalize the instability and begin asking, what is wrong with me? This is one of the most profound effects of coercive control. Self-blame replaces external reality. You are not too sensitive, you guys. You are responding to inconsistency, unpredictability, and emotional threat. And this is where self-empathy becomes essential, not as a concept, but as a nervous system intervention. Okay, so self-empathy means turning towards your internal experiences with curiosity instead of judgment. It sounds like this. It makes sense that you feel anxious after that interaction. Your body is trying to protect you. I'm not overreacting. I am responding. I can trust that my feelings are information, not flaws. From a somatic perspective, healing begins not with analysis, but with safety cues to the body. So here are a few gentle, emotional, trauma-informed somatic practices you can use in moments of activation, you guys, okay? So orientating, establishing safety in the present moment, slowly looking around the room and name the 5 pleasant objects. Let your eyes land on something that feels stable. That signals your nervous system, I am here, not there. I am safe enough in this moment. Hand to heart or hand to belly. Contact. Place your hand gently on your chest. Abdominal, apply light pressure. This activates the interoception, the ability to sense your internal state, and can help regulate emotional intensity. Okay, inhale slowly. Okay, slightly, then exhale. You are forcing breath. You are inviting down regulation. Okay, the parasympathetic activation, naming the state without judgment. I notice my anxiety is here. I notice confusion is here. This creates psychological distance between you and the activation of overwhelm. Okay, so micro boundaries. Okay, ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now? 1%. I can feel 1% more safety. Okay, water, space, stepping away, conversation. This practice are not about fixing you. They're about reconnecting you to yourself, because one of the deepest injuries in cohesive dynamics is disconnection from your own internal signals. And self-empathy is the bridge back. It is also important to understand this clearly. A person can have narcissistic traits without being abusive. A person can also be abusive without meeting criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. So you do not need to prove a diagnosis in order to validate your experience. You do not need internal arguments to begin trusting your internal signals again. And you do not need to wait to escalate to justify protecting your well-being. Instead, begin asking trauma-informed questions. Do I feel emotionally safe expressing disagreements? Do I experience repair after conflict or repeat confusion? Or do I feel more like myself over time or less like myself? Is my nervous system expanding in this relationship or contracting? Healthy relationships can include conflict, but healthy relationships include repair, accountability, and mutual respect for autonomy. Love does not require self-abandonment. Love does not require chronic fear. Love does not require you to shrink in order to stay connected. Okay, you can say what you need to say. If you recognize these patterns, the most important step is not to diagnose the other person. It is to reconnect with your own reality. Okay, focus on what the environment is doing to your nervous system, your identity, and your sense of agency, and your capacity to feel safe in your own body. Notice that, okay? So when possible, seek support from trauma-informed therapists, domestic violence advocates, or somatic practitioners who can understand cohesive dynamics. And if you are considering change or leaving a unsafe relationship, essentially controlling relationship, escalating autonomy, okay, you deserve support that honors your nervous system, your perception, and your right to safety. So let's stop asking only, is my partner a narcissist? And start asking, is this partner a cohesive control? And is this a pattern of cohesive control? And how is my nervous system responding to it? And what support do I need to return to safety, clarity, and self-trust? Because healing does not begin with a label. It begins when you stop arguing with your experiences and start listening to what your body has been trying to tell you. Okay? So thank you guys for joining me on Trauma Talks.